to stand up against it. What were the measures that the state, that the government, that the police took against you and your friends when you tried to speak out against apartheid? What actually happened to you all?
The whole approach was one of striking terror.
Apartheid, who led the victory, who led them to liberation. Mandela was a visionary. He symbolized hope that a just and equal society was possible, and he was indeed the architect of what we now call the New South Africa. He was both father and midwife of this new society. So a lot of what is best, what is good about South Africa is associated with the name of Nelson Mandela. Remember that in his younger days, he lived in Orlando West in Soweto. He dealt with people's everyday problems. He and the late Oliver Tambo, the leader of the ANC, the other leader of the ANC, ran a law practice where many ordinary people harassed and harangued by apartheid would come seeking help. And then he became leader of the African National Congress in the 50s. And when the ANC was banned, and when the apartheid regime used force against the people, especially in Sharpeville, Mandela had the courage and the vision to take up arms. In a way, just to tell you, Amy, what I think he was a complex man. He was a man, the jazz musician Duke Ellington would describe a good song and say, it is beyond category. Because most people know him as a man of peace, but he knew when to take up arms. He was a strong leader, but he could be gentle. He was an organizational man, but sometimes he would break out of organizational discipline and reach out beyond his own ANC. He was a black man who suffered under apartheid, under racism, and he strove for non-racialism. He was both an idealist, his vision of a happy, non-racial, prosperous South Africa, but he was also a realist because he was able, many of us are unhappy about that aspect, to, in a way, compromise and make a deal with big capital.
Mandela said he couldn't pinpoint the moment when he became politicized, but always knew he would devote his life to liberation. He took his first steps on this path when he helped establish the youth wing of the African National Congress in 1944. When Mandela was 30, the government introduced the policy of apartheid that systematically and often brutally separated the races. Mandela and his friend Oliver Tambo set up a law firm in 1952 which specialized in the fallout from apartheid laws. His resolute campaigning brought him into conflict with the state. In 1956, Mandela was charged with high treason, along with 155 other activists. He was acquitted 4 years later. This elegant, it's almost Italian, this amphitheatre that was designed here. It's certainly one of the finest buildings in South Africa, isn't it? With its cupola there and the pillars. And very grand inside, the buildings that the President himself occupies than the executive offices. Guard of Honor presents arms and the band now plays the national anthem.